Welcome, welcome to another episode of the Quip and Convo segment. You'll see my guest bio right after this. Please join us and listen to her perspective on the quips. My latest book. Yes, that one. Welcome back to the Quip and Convo segment of the Quip Corner with Chinyere.
Thank you so much, Ada, for having me. I look forward to discussing this quip. I'm all ready.
That's good. And the great thing about this quip is you have no idea which quip I have chosen for you to talk about.
Yeah, so my heart is beating like, oh my goodness, what's it going to be?
Okay, so today we'll be reading a quip from my latest book, 101 Quips and Quotes to Put to Work at Work, which is also called the workbook. And I just opened to this page perchance, so I'm going to read quip 11. It says, great leaders stretch themselves to help others stretch and advance in life. Great leaders stretch themselves to help others stretch and advance in life. Thoughts?
Leaders are supposed to support their team to do better. So you're supposed to guide them, teach them, provide the resources that they need, everything to help them to get going and to perform. That's the role of a leader. And that will require stretching a leader because it is not easy to do all of these things. But leaders do so because they understand that of themselves, they can't succeed. They need their team members to succeed. So it's supposed to be a collaborative effort. So they have to help their team members as much as possible to stretch and get to where they want to get to.
Okay. So what should a leader do if they are stretching themselves to try and help their team members stretch, but the team members are unwilling?
Okay, so what should a leader do? Sometimes I see a leader's role as similar to that of a parent. Okay, what will a parent do if you have a recalcitrant child, right? You stick with it. You help, you provide support, you look for others who can help you. It's similar. It can be easy to say, if you have a team member who isn't pulling their weight and you've done everything, let them go. Okay, that's an option. But I think it's better to perhaps look for other ways to help the individual. There may be some things that are not working well within the environment that you need to find out. But sometimes a conversation is great, so you know where the person is at and how you can support the person best. And not think of supporting the person from your perspective of what support is. What you think is support may not be support to that person. So it's important to know what that person requires to help them to succeed. So yeah, you need to at the risk of, you never really break, right? So at the risk of saying you can stretch until you then snap, you don't want to snap as much as possible. But when you remember that there's a lot of gain in getting others to work and work as they should and stretch as well, then you're getting there. Recently I saw something about an article or so a write-up about the invisible leader. And the idea what they are trying to communicate is that as a leader, you're supposed to so support your team that in your app without you, they can't be there and do all the great things. Okay, you don't need to be constantly there for them to succeed or for them to perform. If you need to be there for them to perform, but then perhaps you haven't done your work well as a leader. So it's all encompassing, that it's an leading, it's an efforts, and you have to continue to do all it takes to
Mm-hmm.
get your team to work. Because if you don't have a team, then you're not a leader, right?
Yeah, yeah,
If you think
yeah.
about it that way, if you don't have a team, you're not a leader. I think it was Maxwell that said, if you look back and nobody's following you, you're just going for a walk if you don't have
Yes.
followers. So you have to ensure that you do all you can to get your team to work well.
Thank you. I like, the comment about you likening it to a parent because that's one of the things, the leadership nuggets I learned. I mean, we both learned from NH. I don't know if you remember that management meeting where he put up the slide that said, what are the rights of a child? And, he listed the rights of a child to be loved, to be protected, to be provided for, to be disciplined. And then he then asked us, what are the rights of an
And
employee?
employee, the staff.
And then exactly. And it was like, huh? So it was like, yeah, there's really no difference. Yes, I mean, apart from that, they don't go home with you in the evening, you know,
Thankfully.
but it's definitely a worthwhile analogy to keep at the back of our minds because we never throw out our children. Um, we guide them, we guide them. But thinking about that, and I think about even my leadership journey, there are times when the way to help an individual may be to help them out of the organization to a better soil where they will thrive. But what would you say are a few ways that that can be done in the best interest of the individual, not just for the organization's sake, but in the best interest of the individual?
So part of the leadership journey is helping your subordinates or helping your team members to build capacity for themselves, right? To strengthen their muscles, as it were. That way, you are preparing them not just for the organization, but for life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you better as a man that you're preparing them for life, that means they will succeed anywhere.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason they're not succeeding within the organization, then you're in a conversation, and that's not about leadership, that you're having conversation with your team members. You're helping them see how or for the reasons why they're not fitting in. Okay, you're also hearing from them what they think, okay, and what they want to do other than what they're doing today.
Yeah.
In what other ways can their skills be applicable?
Yeah.
Sometimes people are not happy within a particular sector. So it may
Mm-hmm.
be a sector issue. Sometimes it may just be within that company or the function they've been given to do in that company, right? So you have people who are in a particular department, but they really want to be in another department, and
Yeah.
perhaps in the other department where they want to go to, there's no vacancy. Okay, so you can't like just move them. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's important for them to perhaps find something else in another company within that department. So you're going to guide them in that process. I've had people who are doing administrative work, and in conversation, I realized that this person is actually wants to venture into HR, human capital
Resources.
management type
Mm-hmm.
work. But there's no space in the company for you to play that role. And we can't have you floating,
Yeah.
just because you want to do something else. So it's important that you then find where else you can do that, and focus on doing that. So it's just sometimes helping them articulate what the challenges are, or articulate what it is that they really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have a conversation with people and you know that they're not happy where they are, they're not functioning well, but even themselves are not too clear what they want to do. So it's just in having those conversations. So I believe that performance appraisals or performance review sessions should not just be how have you done, but perhaps a more broader discussion that helps you understand where that individual is at or what the person really wants to do.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your insights on this quip. Yeah, it's truly a responsibility, like a friend of mine said, being a leader and really helping people achieve their own peak, whatever that is. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for joining me in the Quip and Convo segment. It was a delight having you here with me.
It's always great to be here, Amanda. I look forward to being here again to explore other quips. There are so many quips now. There are 500 quips, 505 quips now.
And
True.
counting,
So
yes.
yeah, so yeah, a lot of quips to discuss. So
Yeah,
please invite me again.
I'll consider you. Thanks again.
Yes.
God bless you. It was nice listening to Chinyere's perspective on the quipping, my latest book. Yeah, I know because it's white, it's difficult to see, but there'll be a picture of it at the top of this video. It's interesting how things you learn as you grow as a leader are applicable even years after, the analogy of the rights of an employee. I look forward to reading your comments, your thoughts, your experiences with leaders um, below this. And look out for my time with Chinyere when she talks to us about her book, Leadership. Look out for it. I'm not going to tell you when, but there's a video coming out. You'd really, really want to hear more about her book, Leadership. Thanks again for joining me, and you take care. Bye now.